Welcome back to my 3D printer build log. I'd like to apologize for the increasing delays. In the last months, both my professional workload and the time allocated for family and friends haven't left me with much time to pursue this project. I don't know whether this will get better anytime soon, but at least I can share what has happened in the meantime. The first aspect I worked on was the LCD touchscreen housing. When ordering the Duet Wi-Fi, I originally planned on buying a 5-inch panel. Since that was out of stock at the time, I went with a 7-inch panel. What I didn't consider at the time was that my current printer is too small to print an enclosure suitable for this panel, so there's only one option left. No, of course not, even though my approach might get me excommunicated from some RepRap communities. I bought a prefabricated case with an aluminium front plate, took that out and glued a template onto it. After drilling the necessary holes, I used a scroll saw to rough out the cutout for the panel, filed the edges to size and then mounted the panel to the front plate. To connect the panel to the printer, I'm using a 4-pole GX16 aviation connector. It needs a hole a bit larger than my largest twist drill, so here I'm using a kind of slot drill to enlarge the hole until the connector fits inside. Since the holes in the panel Geo PCB don't line up with the mounting holes in the case, I've designed and printed a small mounting adapter that is screwed to the case and in turn holds the PCB. The GX16 socket is connected to the panel Geo, and I'm using a ribbon cable to connect the LCD panel to the panel Geo PCB. I had to modify the connector on the panel Geo side of the cable rather extensively because several of the components mounted around the connector got in the way. Just another warranty voided. And here is the finished display unit. It's a bit on the light side and tends to slide around, so I might want to add some components to improve the gravitational footprint later on, but at the moment I don't have any suitable scrap material lying around here. Back to the printer. You might recall that I mounted the print bed with a heater mat underneath it in the last video. The downside of this arrangement is that half of the surface area of the heater mat would be heating the air underneath the bed, which is undesirable and a waste of energy. To improve the situation, I've ordered some insulating mineral wool that I'll mount underneath the bed. Since the wool is rather floppy and wouldn't stay in place unless properly supported, I'll be using 3 aluminium bands to hold it in place. To make it easier to mount the bands, I've decided to flatten the top sides of the mounting brackets. Off camera, I cut the aluminium bands to size, rounded off the edges and drilled holes large enough to slide them over the hex posts holding the bed. These bands are not screwed onto the frame, but will be held in place just by gravity and the slightly compressed wool. The wool can easily be cut with a sharp knife. Avoid contact with your bare skin, wear gloves, if possible a respirator or face mask, and try to avoid getting the dust and fibers onto your skin. I realized that a long-sleeved shirt would have been a good idea too. The holes for the screws and the cable can easily be poked through with a screwdriver. To mark the positions of the holes and hold the aluminium bands in place, I've already screwed the posts to the bed. Here I'm screwing the brackets to the posts. This time I'm mounting the bed with the printer turned upside down. So here it is, the printer with the insulated heated bed. And that's it for today. Don't worry, I'm already working on the next steps. I want to see this thing printing. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe to get notified of new videos. See you later.